So, good afternoon, everyone. As you can see, I'm a little bit nervous. There was a lot of time that I did my last presentation, so okay, I tried to do my best. So, the issue today is sound coherence and time alignment. Please, who of you are familiar with this concept as a technical in this area? Time alignment, sound coherence, all right. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Gabriel Solsona. I worked for Radio Televisión Española, you know, the public Spanish television, for 40 years. The next February, I did my 40 years in broadcasting in RTVE. 30 of them as a sound supervisor, or A1 as you wish. But currently, I'm leading the network and communications area, working for IP for Fabric for Media, IP for Intercom, IP for RF, IP for 2110, IP for A67. In fact, the PTP is my main concern right now. And I'm going to write 2 books about PTP. The first one is going to be The Bloody PTP and His Family. Imagine what is the title of the second one. So the topics or the contents, and at the first is going to be understanding the sound coherence and time alignment, to see what is the background on that. The second is the issues and the challenges inside the sport venues. The key word is inside. And the third is the issues and challenges in the transmission and synchronizations across the broadcast chain. To put in concept, what happens when 2 or more paths goes from A, the venue, to B, a master control room or a CCA. So, you know what is the topic of today. So, what do these concepts mean to you? What happens, or when we have to take aware of this time alignment? Well, when 2 or more loudspeakers and at least 1 microphone, or 2 or more microphones capture the same sound source from a loudspeaker or from a source in general, or maybe in another place, when 2 signals travels by different routes and arrive out of sync. Then, in these cases, there are more, of course, but let's focus on this only. Then we need to take into account sound coherence and temporal alignment, because small differences in arrival time can completely change how sound is perceived. In fact, I have a hidden slide here. If I have time, I'm going to show you, that demonstrates that only the displacement, the move of one's audio sample in 48 kilohertz, that means 17 microseconds, you is starting to generating a cone filter, and this is absolutely awful audible. So let's put some examples on that. There are 3 examples. One is from Shakira. The other one is an interview for a magazine show, in the morning magazine show in RTVE. And the third is a tennis match. The second one.
Millones por temporada, es lo que va a cobrar, ha firmado 4 temporadas, ha dicho muchas cosas, entre ellas que lo bonito no es entrenar al Real Madrid, lo bonito no es jugar en el Real Madrid, lo bonito es ganar en el Real Madrid, así que viene con ganas. Pero Mourinho no es solo un entrenador, también es un conquistador.
Only 2 lavalier or microphones, clip microphones, only these 2. Of course, I'm going to explain more things after that, but this is the reason of the major of the problems that we have with clip-ons. It's impossible to compensate both of them at the same time. But the problem here is that the guy is 15 dBs louder than the girl. So there is an asymmetry you have to take into account. The third one. now it is aligned. So in this animation, to take an idea of the sound coherence, you can see these wooden waves, how can see when it's misaligned because it's picking up in different times and when it's aligned. So as I told you, the minor difference, let's say one sample or let's say 10 milliseconds is enough to blur the audio. In this example, we have a reporter voice, like the typical camera in a location with the talent in front with a handheld, and the microphone, let's say a stereo microphone on top of the camera. Here, I'm going to need to explain this. This is a time delay meter. This is 0, and this scale is, in this case, in meters or in millimeters. This is 500 millimeters, half a meter, 1 meter, 1.5 meters, and so on. And this is the maximum of coherence between the microphone of the talent of this. And this is the microphone, the handheld microphone, and the microphone from the camera. So right now, in this moment, you can perceive that it's less than half a meter, let's say 450 millimeters or something. Let's play it.
Antes, algunos optan por coger sus propios coches y por desplazarse por su cuenta. Otros no, otros los que no tienen medio van en estos autobuses. Están aquí estacionados unos 10-15 autobuses, pero otros autocares están detrás de esa otra manzana, ahí recogiendo a más vecinos. Roberto, hay 600 plazas habilitadas, lo venimos recordando durante toda la plaza en estos 3 polideportivos, tanto en Seseña como en Esquina. En cualquier caso, sí se...
Eso es, y un día importante hoy también porque hoy se celebra el ensayo general donde todos los artistas de la nota final. Estamos en la sala de delegaciones. Aquí están los camerinos de los 26 representantes de los 26 países que participan en esta edición del festival. Como podéis ver, hay un ambiente de mucha emoción porque a las 9 de la noche comenzará esta gala que además será grabada.
Okay, there is in the last 2 minutes I didn't share. So, first thing, you can see that you can follow dynamically this time difference. So it's clear that it's perfectly compensated. The second one, this line that is the 0, this is what always we see or we saw as a correlometer. So if this signal is here, it means that it's in phase. But you only have this slot, this tiny slide. This is what you see only with a correlator meter. So it's absolutely pointless right now in the 21st century to take a look on a correlator meter. You need to see what happens with delays before or after. So what happens here? Okay, let's change gears. What happens when we have a multiple paths to the venue to the master control room? For instance, like this example. The sport commentator voice leads the video feed. Compensation works globally but fails during the fast reaction. Why? Because what you are going to see is compensated by ear, by hand, but it's not perfect compensated. So in the fast reaction, something happens. Look, what happened is that the commentator is destroying the viewer experience for the audience to experience that the goal scores or not, because it's announced earlier.
Como por ejemplo ahora, ojo a Barrenechea, que llega con posibilidades, Barrenechea con posibilidades del tiro, gol, gol, Barrenechea con posibilidades del tiro, gol, 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 gol.
Are you you can see in Spain we say goal. We don't say he scores or mark. We say goal. But you can see the reaction of the commentator. It's ruined the experience of the user. And it happens every single day. Sorry for the Sky guys, because there are hundreds, not only. So in fact, this video is for RTVE from the last year, the Spanish Cup, Real Madrid, Real Sociedad, and it's in our house. So it happens in every single place. For instance, in the United Kingdom, Sky Glass, commentator is around 3 seconds in front of the action. Official thread, this is from the 2024, or the Six Nations, France, Wales. Commentary ahead the pictures, UEFA Champions League, BT Sport and Knowledge commentary ahead of the game due to the storms. Okay? On air apology, at least they are absolutely honestly. Sound out of sync with the picture, BBC Scotland coverage with the synchronization audio, BBC issued an apology. This is in March of 2025. Women World Cup, England, Nigeria, BBC, we heard the play before seeing. Germany, Felix, help me, build. 11 seconds verset, I suppose is earlier, to the football. This is in 2021. CDF, double commentator, DAZN, public complaint, tone and build, in fact, complete. You have here the links. I mean, there is nothing that I invent. And it's taking just only 10 minutes on internet. Sky Glass, lip sync issues, Netherlands, that's it for me. Germany is impossible, Dutch, I don't know. France, les commentaires à la seconde avance sur l'image. Le son est performant en direct et l'image ne suit pas. Spain. El sonido de los comentarios va 2 segundos adelantado. Audio del comentarista adelantado y desincronizado. Orange TV complains about audio ahead of the video. Suggested fixes. 2025, 2023, 2025, August. The first one is in August. DAZN Spain. Sonido ambiente adelantado y espolea el gol. Ambient sound earlier and spoils the goal or the score. June 2025. Italy, telecronaca in anticipo sulle immagini, UEFA Champions League, Serie A. Portugal, Nuno, na transmissão do jogo de Portugal frente a Turquía, son estava adelantado en rebasado da imagem. Ouvir o comentário gritar golo, enquanto na imagem da bola ainda nem chegou. RTVE1, Radio Televisión Portuguesa, RTP, Vodafone Forum, Portugal. And this is only examples of Europe. I mean, I take only for UK, Germany, Netherlands, France, Spain, Italy, and Portugal. But it happens in every single place. In fact, the other day I came to Barcelona because we have another master control group there. And I asked to my colleagues, how do you manage to compensate the commentators with the international sound? And I said, by hand. There is no way today to solve that. So the objective, first, identify the issue as we are doing. Second, raise awareness amongst the broadcasters. This is what I was saying. And show that most cases can be solved or improved. But when I say the most cases, I mean the 99.9999995. So, inside the venue, if you see, we split the problem in two, inside the venue or the transmission. What is the way to solve this, or at least to start to tackle this problem? Plan microphone placement, careful relative to PA. For instance, don't put a microphone between 2 loudspeakers. Put a microphone near to loudspeakers. Your best friend and your best foe is the loudspeaker. Put near the loudspeaker, not 2 loudspeakers, because in fact, instead of have 1 signal you have to compensate, you have 2 that is impossible to compensate because you can't compensate once. Second, compensate arrival times of common signals. Third, mix coherently. Time and phase alignment matter. So this tiny button that we have in every single desk console of audio desk console that says delay, and we have the resolution or the accuracy of 1 audio sample, is for that. And finally, cable phase count. Right now, more than ever. So for the signal transmission standard, when there are 2 or more paths between A and B, develop new test signals to measure times offsets precisely. There is no Hitomi or valid 8 solution that works for that. We need another kind of things. In fact, I am going to announce that we're starting, or we're trying to start in a work group with EBU, or it's going to be EBU, to put a center table with broadcasters, manufacturers, and people involved in that, because the problem, the solution of this problem is cooperation between parties. OBS, if Nuno allow me, is already taking first steps on that. And as I told you, proposal for EBU coordinating international treatment of this issue. So I have no more time, but if you want, earlier I don't mind to show how, in a big picture, in a large format production, how do you have to generate or analyze the whole thing. For instance, from here, from this microphone and camera generation to the final right holder, all the paths that the signal came is going to be absolutely compensated, even the commentators that goes, as Malone said, by unilaterals directly to the right holders. So no more gold, no more score, no more did it before you can experience it. Sorry, earlier than you can experience it. So conclusion, training, awareness, and proper tools improve broadcast quality. And by the way, here we are talking the next generation of microphones, IP microphones, DSP microphones, audio-technica microphones with fiber optic cable. These DSP-intensive microphones has processing delay, so the problem is going to be more and more and more in depth. So we need to measure precisely and align all the whole chain. So that's it. Thank you.